Well, hello class. I'm going to make this video to help you practice solving equations with variables on both sides. Okay, so the intent here, I'm going to give you all these questions. You copy these down, pause the video before I work out each question, and try it before I do it. Don't copy my work, try to understand it. You can only get better by trying. So go ahead and copy these down, whichever one you think you might have the most trouble with. And then pause the video and try these. You can try them one by one, so I'm going to work out this, and then maybe you want to pause it before you try the next one. Okay, so there's 5 slides coming up. Oops. Here's the first one. Copy down, pause it before I start working it. Alright, here we go. So, if you notice there's x's, 2 terms with x's on the left. You want to combine everything on the left side. Combine your like terms. Just treat it like a combining like terms problem. Everybody in class is going to pass this, has passed this part, so just treat it like a combining like terms problem. 3x plus 2x, because that's part of that number, makes 5x on the left. Minus 4, and it will equal 7. Now on the left side you've got x's and you've got regular numbers which are called constants. You just want x's all alone. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of the constant by doing its opposite. If we do the opposite, we got to go to the other side of the equation. So opposite sign goes to the opposite side of the equals. This will make no more constants. Negative 4 and positive 4 are 0. Over here, this is 11. So now I'm going to divide by the number in front of x, not using its opposite sign, but I actually divide. The reason we divide is because 5 divided by 5 is a 1. That's the goal, is to figure out how much 1x is worth. Divide on one side, I got to divide on the other side. You can leave your answer like this. So 1x, or just x, is 11/5. You could change that to a decimal if you really want to, but you don't have to. Alright, here's the next one. You're going to copy it down and try this before I work it out. Now would be a good time to pause the video. Alright, here we go. Distribute. 3 times a negative 2 makes negative 6. Remember, negative and minus are the same thing. We got another minus 6 here. Once again, we're going to treat this like variables, or like combined like terms on this side. There's more than one term. We'll put together some like terms. So this one is a like term with that one. These are negative 6's plus another negative 6. Okay. Together that makes a total of negative 12. They don't fight, they all get along. So there's 3x minus 12 and 8x is on this side. So in this question you see there's x's on both sides of the problem. I'll get problems where students will try to combine these two and say 3x plus 8x, make it 11x. Well, that's not what you're supposed to do. You need to make sure that all the x's are on the same side before you try to combine them. You can only combine like terms on the same side. So we're going to go ahead and move, I'm going to move the smaller amount of x's to the other side. So I do its opposite because I want 0 x's. There are no more x's here. Okay. Now I got minus 12, and this is negative 3x. I'm sorry, it's not negative, that's going to be 5x. Okay, there's no more x's. You don't have to write down 0x. So now I've got 5x's on one side. I got regular numbers on the other side. That's what I want, so that now I can divide by the number in front of x. Divide. Remember, division, anything over itself is equal to 1. So this is a 1x. That's your goal, is find out how much 1x is worth. You can divide this if you like and figure out what that is as a decimal. Okay, and that's your answer. Or you can leave it as a fraction. It's not a problem to leave it as a fraction. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Again, copy it down, pause the video, and try it on your own. You only get better by trying. Okay, here we go. Distribute 9 times x, 9 times negative 3, which makes negative 27. Here's a tricky problem. A lot of people will forget that this is a negative 3. That is part of the number. The sign in front is part of the number. So this is a negative 3 distributed. That makes negative 3x. Negative 3 distributed by negative 2 makes this a positive 6. It's a very common mistake. Very, very common mistake. So please make sure you didn't forget that positive 6. Okay, now we're going to combine like terms. If they're on the same side of the equal sign, all this stuff is on the left side of the equal sign, we can put it together without using the opposite signs. So a 9x minus 3x, or 9 positives and 3 negatives, will make this 6x. I put together the constants, which are stuff without variables, negative 27 and positive 6. 6 of those negatives, 6 of those positives will cancel out 6 of the negatives, which means you'll be left with 21 negatives. This equals 15. Now you've got x's you only got one set of x's and they're on the left. I want to make it so all those x's are by themselves. So I'm going to get rid of the constants. I'm using opposites now because I want 0 constants on that side. Okay, 15 plus 21 is going to make 36 on this side. And then I've got 6 x's on this side. You only want to know how much one x is worth, not 6 of them. So 6 divided by 6 makes this a 1x. 36 divided by 6 makes it 6. So 1x, or just x, is 6. You can plug it into here, plug it into there, do your math, and see if all of this stuff is going to be 15. I'm pretty sure I did that right, so it should be. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Pause the video, copy it down, try it on your own. Alright, this is very similar to the last one. Distribute 6x. 6 times a negative 4 makes negative 24. Sorry about that. Distribute a negative 2, just like the last question. Negative 2 times x, negative 2 times negative 3. If you think you made a mistake there, fix it now. Go through the rest of your problem. Fix your mistakes. This is a positive 6. X plus 5 right there. I actually should go ahead and distribute that side too. So I'm going to make this 7x. Go ahead and take care of that. Plus 35. Combine like terms all on one side of the equation before you move on. So this gets combined with that. Remember, this is part of the number. The negative is part of the number. Okay, then I'm going to combine these like terms, a negative 24 and a positive 6. Okay, so when I put together 6x and negative 2x, or 6x minus 2x, I got 4x. When I put together negative 24 and positive 6, 6 of those positives cancel out 6 of those negatives and leave me with 18 negatives. On this side, there's nothing to combine. Okay, so now I've got x's on both sides. I only want x's on one side of the equation. I got 4x over here, I got 7x over here. I can't combine these two because they're on different sides, so let me put them on the same side first. I like to get rid of a smaller amount of x's. I'm using the opposite here because I want no more x's. 0 x's. Those are gone. You can write 0x if you want. You don't necessarily have to, but there's no more x's. Make sure that actually makes 0. So this leaves negative 18. 7 minus 4 is 3x plus 35. Now x's are all, there's no more x's on this side. There's just x's on the right side. But we want to get all those by themselves. So we're going to kick out the 35 using its opposite. 35 minus 35 makes 0 over here. Negative 18, negative 35, they don't cancel each other out. They all are just hanging out. They all get along. This makes 13, carry the 1. It's 53. So it's 53 negatives. X's are almost by themselves. I want to make it so there's 1x. So I'm going to divide by 3. This is 1x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Divide by 3 here. Okay, keep this equal sign straight down there. And then my answer should be whatever 53 divided by 3 is. Negative 53 divided by 3. I don't know what it is. You can leave it a fraction. Okay, so that's your answer. I'm running out of space, so there's your answer. Okay, or go ahead and divide it and make it a decimal if you like. I'm sure you understand that it's negative divided by positive. Pretty sure I did that right. So That should be your answer. One more question. Right now. Take some time to pause. That should be an 8. And that should be a 2x. Sorry about that. Alright, let's move on. 8 times 2x, 8 times negative 3. So 16x minus 24 plus 2x minus 8 equals 8x minus 8. This is multiplication, so 8x times 1, negative 1. Combine like terms. Here's my x's on this side of the equation. I'm sorry about this. I don't know why this keeps doing this with my pen. Oops. Alright, you're going to combine the like terms. So that's going to make 18x. I'm going to combine a negative 24 and the negative 8. I made a crucial error over here. I should have included that. I'm sorry, but it doesn't change anything. Negative 24 and negative 8, they all get along. There's no canceling. Okay. I combine like terms on one side of the equation first. Now, because I've got x's and constants on both sides, I'm going to start moving things around. So I'm going to get rid of the smaller amount of x's. That's my preference. You don't necessarily have to do that. This is when I do opposites because I want no more x's over here. This makes 0. The only thing left is minus 8. 0 minus 8 is negative 8, so you don't really need the 0. I mean, you can write it down, and I should have you write it down, but you don't necessarily need it. Over here now, it's 10x minus 32. This is equal to negative 8. So you got constants over here, your constants there, and you got x's. We want all the constants on the other side of the x's. So some people might add 8. You don't want to do that because that eliminates everything on this side. You want something on both sides. X's on one side, constants on the other. So I'm going to go ahead and add 32. This makes no constants, no regular numbers. And all I'm left with is 10x on this side. These are 0, so there's no more constants. Equals whatever negative 8 plus 32 is. Okay, 8 negatives cancel out 8 of these positives. I mean, there's still going to be a bunch more positives. There should be 20. Let's see. Subtract 8, 24. Okay. Now I'm going to divide by 10 because 10 divided by 10 is 1x. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And you can leave this a fraction. Make sure you simplify it. Or you can go ahead and divide. This is a decimal of 2.4. If you simplify the fraction, 2 goes into both of these, goes in there 12, goes in there 5. So 12/5 or 2.4 would work. And that's it. Okay. Hopefully that helped.